Hello everybody, my name is Anthem. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich as Russia. Let us continue on for the last left off. So we are beginning immediately with two wonderful events. So, the Orthodox Church. Actually, I'm going to skip this song. The song I think is a little bit too loud for what we're doing right now. There we go. So our Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church, like much of Russia, has endured the 20th century more than it has lived it. Caught in a seemingly endless web of debates regarding episcopal, monastic, and parish reforms, the church has navigated the treacherous waters of war and revolution, but never smoothly. Even in the triumphant revival of the Moscow Patricianate in 1917, was not spared from controversy. Patriarch Tikhon earned a deserved reputation as an able leader in the tragedy of the Civil War, but his allegedly liberal attitudes prompted a reaction that bore fruit in the subsequent election of Patriarch Anthony, after Tikhon's passing in 925. Patriarch Anthony, fireband in the Escol faction, wasted no time in riling up confrontation. First by attempting to make all the parishes commemorate the Romanov dynasty in their prayers, rather than the more neutral civil authorities, and later by adamantly refusing to cooperate with any land reforms. The soaring of church-state relations has seen opposition to Anthony coalesce around Metropolitan Sergei of Nizhny Novgorod, a moderate with a history of social welfare activism, and who has likewise drawn moderate clerics and loyalty to his banner. Though this schism within the church is rarely discussed openly, its intensity has grown stronger as Anthony's health declines, makes a new patriarchal election likely in the near future. With this in mind, many members of Sergei's faction have approached the SRS for support, both out of practical concern for amending relations with the government, but in many cases out of genuine belief in Savanov's mission. The bishops themselves are unlikely to change their dislike of Savankov, but the additional help, the SRS could expand the influence among the parishes with little difficulty. This, in turn, would ensure the Sergian priests are nominated to the laity, and open an avenue through which to influence the broader church. The Sergians seem to set on supporting SRS one way or the other, but how much Savankov is willing to sacrifice in return for favor remains to be seen. Let's see. So we go political power minus 40, more stability. Anger goes down by 1, or we get political power and a little bit of stability as well. We're at -4, which means not great. Right now it's at 3. I mean, it's not that high, at least right now. But also does give us party popularity, which actually boosts stability even more. But is that worth 40 political power? You know what? Let's do it. There we go. Get them down to 2. And the citizens Romanov. The current claimant to the Russian throne, albeit only in the minds of the monarchist, is former Grand Prince, now common citizen Kirill Vladimировich Romanov. After the death of the Tsar's grandson Nikolai, Kirill is the first cousin of the Tsar. He became de facto heir. After the sore disappointment of the monarchy in 1921, as the monarchy was indeed not restored, they have been reasonably conciliatory. Kirill himself has been known as the Republican Tsar, due to his siding with the February revolutionaries early on, and his subsequent support for the Republic, if it is the will of the people. Kirill's son Vladimir is the darling of the press, young and handsome. He represents the very epitome of the modern royal in the 1930s. Vladimir delights in Russia's vibrant cultural life, takes part in motor racing competitions, and is a common host of charity events. Many of these also serve as the vehicle for politics, as the prince is a much bolder proponent of monarchism than his humble and moderate father is. It is Vladimir's strong personality that gives Russian monarchists hope. Savankov's ascension has created problems for the Romanovs. Savankov has nothing but distaste for them, but hasn't yet dared to move against them, or just doesn't even consider them a threat. It does not help that many Gastrus Soviniks do not share Savankov's hatred of the monarchy. Quite the contrary. They even hold a rose-tinted view of the Romanovs as martyrs of the Civil War. Kirill has withdrawn from what few public appearances he did before, and the worsening political situation has given even Vladimir pause. Despite his initial statements claiming Savankov is putting the Republic in order, he has since rebuked any attempts by the SRS figures to gain official approval from him. Whispers are that the Romanovs have been drafting plans to leave the country on short notice, should it come to the worst. Okay. So we can exile them, which is going to make the people more angry, but give us a little bit of political power. Or we just do nothing and lose 5% party popularity. I mean, I think we just let them go. I mean, again, it is technically also stability loss because we do have that party popularity modifier, but it's not the end of the world, I would say. Again, we've done the Russian-Franco Treaty. Now, we do have some other things. Like, we can move our way towards the Supreme Court. We can try to alleviate Black Monday, which I do think we want to do. Let's organize some relief work. We are currently at level 1 for the corporatist. So a little bit more stability, a little bit more research speed as well. Okay, raids available. Ignore you. And all of this else, it all seems fine. Okay, France has accepted a deal. Splendid. So I'm guessing maybe the British have not. Power projection is changed by +5. Approval of the French. I mean, again, we have so much oil. Giving a little bit to France is fine. And okay, and Britain's rejected it. That's not a big deal. I prefer France than the British anyway, so it all works out for me. Land reform begins. To destroy the peasants' common land is destroy the soul of Russia. However, it is no secret that traditional strip farming is not only inefficient, but also that central Russia simply lacks the land needed to sustain all of its peasants. If every Russian is to prosper, then there is little choice but to consolidate fields and direct the excess rural population into nearby cities, or across the Urals into Siberia and Turkestan. Hopes are high that these efforts will, when paired with farm mechanization and the new agronomical colleges, increases crop yields exponentially, while respecting the mere traditions. The Council of Land Divisions have appeared across Russia. The new reform program has entered its first official stages. Vast tracts of land have been earmarked for nationalization. Thousands of surveyors and judges are busy working through a decade of legal backlog. New artels, trade cooperatives, have been established to house and provide work for the influx of peasants into towns and cities. Unfortunately, not everyone is pleased to discover what the reforms actually entail. The SNRS party offices have been flooded with letters addressed to President Savinkov, demanding he punish ministers for misinterpreting his orders. The elders of many villages are furious that the state has given rural officials not only a veto on the election of village headmen, but also reserved the right to appoint one if the locals prove difficult. The consolidation of land strips has flared tempers, as well as many peasants want land. Few are keen on redrawing boundaries or leaving their home villages outright. Even the agronomical colleges scheme has received vitriol, with some letters arguing that time spent in classrooms is less time spent in the fields. Though the party spirits have been somewhat deflated, many are adamant that the reforms must proceed as planned, and that they are simply growing pains. There will undoubtedly be more opposition in the future. Time will tell that the party is willing to pay the cost of confronting it. Okay. The end results of land reform will be better. It needs to be done, no matter the reaction. Like, they're peasants, they're stupid, we can do whatever we want, it's okay. In an unexpected offer, today we received a secret message from the new Georgian government, led by Chairman Evgeny Gagorki. In the wake of the German financial crisis, the Georgians are now thinking of finding a new ally. They are expecting to re-examine the Treaty of Poti soon, and they've hinted to us that they are ready to work with Russia if an offer comes more favorable agreements. Georgia is quite isolated from the main force of Germany and its allies, so it is difficult to say whether this offer is sincere or if they are simply afraid of the growing power of Russia under Boris Savinkov's leadership. However, there is no doubt that we should not reject any potential allies. Okay. Let us accept an alliance with the Georgians. Because again, if we can be friendly with Georgia, that sounds great. Especially if it means that Azerbaijan is going to be even more isolated than before. So they rejected it? Right now they have the Treaty of Poti. I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't even remember where it is on this. Treaty of Poti is dead. Okay, so hopefully they will reject the treaty. So they'll hopefully align with us, and that's good. Again, more friends makes me happy. It should make you happy as well. I don't know anybody. Is there anybody who hates having more friends? I mean, I'm sure some people. They're like, they don't want all of the obligation to come with it. But I think for right now, we are pretty good. And the manifesto of the Third Russia. National populism, or national narodism, stems from the Narodowics in the 19th century. Through Narodna Volia and the social revolutionaries finally becoming the defining ideology of the SZRS. Through the decades, men and methods have varied, but our untiring belief in the strength and the will of the Russian peasants have not wavered. What do we believe in? We believe in the people, not in democracy. Tsarism, liberalism, and Marxism do not stem from Russian people. They are ideas of elites and tyrants. It is the community of the free Russian peasants that form the heart and soul of Third Russia. What do we believe in? We believe in an undivided and indivisible Russia civilization. One that is the spirit and will of a great fate. We believe in the great union of free peoples under the Third Russia. The opposition to capitalist and imperialist oppression of nations. What do we believe in? We believe in invade, the leader, and on every level of society. We believe in an entirely loyalty to the Russian cause and exceptional individuals tasked in bringing it into reality. What do we believe in? We believe in deeds, not words. Change comes through actions. Power comes through will. Man has no greater cause but to kill and die for the Russian cause. And most of all, we believe in victory. In a Russia unshackled, in its people prosperous and brave, who inherit the land. Glory to Russia, glory to the Vodst. But I'm glad to get the 10 political power, I can tell you that much. And how are our units coming in here? Because I know we're still lacking a lot of stuff. Can we... How many factories? We have 5 factories right now, which is embarrassingly low. And the plight of the farmers. Market fluctuations hit the countryside slower, but when they do, they hit hard. Farmers live from harvest to harvest, and right now, they will not make a profit from the next harvest. Russia, like much of Eastern Europe, has traditionally been an exporter of agricultural goods, and now local peasants and large landowners are looking at an uncertain future. Stories being told of Ukrainian peasants burning their wheat as they cannot afford coal, and such a future may soon be in store for Russians too. The situation has not helped the Red-supported land banks that granted easy loans to farmers, which have now backfired on the farmers who are relying on stable harvest. So we can make yes, we will start a debt forgiveness program. We're going to lose even more political power, but that's okay. Popular anger is at neutral, so I'm not too worried about Savinkov getting overthrown. At this point, it seems fairly unlikely unless something horrible happens. But again, we're working on relief. We can urban housing programs. We just need to make sure that Black Monday is less bad. We give us free factories. I'm assuming that the roadworks will give us more factories, which would be nice. We can modernize the railroads. We can do some Euro programs, develop the heartlands. A lot of good stuff is potentially in our future. Never mind, we cannot do these because we need to do the Volkswagen program, which is... Where is that? It's you. Okay, so we actually need to make our way down here next. So let's control the Supreme Court. I mean, that seems important for our political ambitions, to say the least. We're not even done our first text yet. Okay, let's go for radio next. Missing production, that's for the aircraft, which I'm not too worried about right now. Experimental anti-tank. You know what, let's just go optical sights. I think that just seems simple, to put it mildly. Again, we have no political power, which isn't great. You will make Black Monday better, which I mean would be really nice. We need more political power. But unfortunately, I keep spending political power to make people less mad at me. So it's kind of a weird state to be in. The Khivan kerfuffle. The ruler of our de facto protectorate in Khiva, the backwards Turkmen warlord Janat Khan, has long rejected our generous guidance of his rump state, instead attacking brave Russian sons of Ashgabat and Kranskolovsk at the height of the Tashkent crisis. It does not take a genius to recognize that Khiva will never truly serve us as a low subordinate. He is a dog who has bit the master once. The only reasonable cause of action is to put him down. Instead, the weak government of Rudev and Makalov rewarded this mad dog with recognition of his illegal takeover of Transcarpathia and the abandonment of any real Russian dominion over the Khivans. This embarrassing course of action has been spearheaded by our leading agent in Khiva, the Kornevite General Ivan Zaitchev, who has gone native, aligning himself with Janet Khan at the expense of his homeland. To rectify these mistakes, we are moved to force Zaitchev out, blackmailing him with dubious charges of corruption. He has been replaced with a more trustworthy court advisor, General Vasily Ivanovich Morozov. In response, Janet Khan has placed General Morozov in a glorified house arrest, restricting him from leaving the old city of Khiva or interacting with the Russian-sponsored Khivan military school. Janet Khan's brazen acts have threatened to dismember our informal control over the region, and he has remained agent of Khiva report that he is intending to strengthen ties with the rogue Turkestani Republic. Without the full support and control of the military, an intervention into Khiva over Janet Khan's provocations would be dangerous and difficult. Instead, our agents within the Khanate have proposed that we provide clandestine support for the imprisoned Khivan Khan, who, if restored to power through a coup, could prove to be the more pliable puppet. In the meantime, we will be swallowing their pride and ignoring the mad dog in Khiva, lest we provide him with any more popular support acting against him. Okay, due to the geopolitical situation, Khiva has temporarily slipped out of our grasp. Once we reasserted our dominion and protection control over the Khanates, we will return under our control. Forget a coup and ignore this fool. Prepare a coup. Sooner the better. I know I didn't set any political power, but I also need to make sure that people do not spit in my face. So we're going to get that done. Give me concentrate industry 1. And do we need to do the whites be deployed, improve logistics in Turkestan, pacify? There's a lot of stuff. We also need to sponsor Belgrade at some point, because I do want to support Serbia, Romania, and Greece against Bulgaria, because they should align more with our interest. Join our faction, maybe invade Austria in the future. All of those are things that I very, very, very much want. I want to put you guys on a different field marshal. I mean, I might as well. There's no reason not to. I mean, we have a lot of them. Oh, so let's see. Are you a monarchist? I want to make sure you're not a monarchist. You got Legacy of the Whites. Okay. Peter Rangel, he's the monarchist. We want to try to avoid him if possible. And addressing the shortages. As Russia's economy continues to buckle and contract, the public demands for government relief has only grown louder. Hopes are high that President Savinkov, elected as he was on a populist platform, will be willing to intervene on the common people's behalf, no matter the budgetary troubles. Several plans have been prepared for an immediate injection of funds into social welfare programs. That said, the elephant in the room is that the funds can only come from one place on such short notice, the military budget. The army is, unsurprisingly, mortified that their long-awaited rearmament program is going to be reshuffled into soup kitchens. Their assertion that the arm is what is keeping order in Russia isn't entirely incorrect either. The government can only try to appease both, can try to appease both, but party officials are warning that such a course will be ruinous expansion. Okay, so we can only do one. I'm assuming it's because both of them, or because popular anger was at 1, we can't go any lower. I have no political power, man. We're only getting like 0.82 per day. I need something. Something that makes just a little bit, like a sliver of political power. And I don't know exactly what it is going to be. Okay, looks like Mongolia is slipping a little bit off our grasp. And farmer strikes. With the first hurdles overcome, the land reform campaign is built powerful momentum. Many Russian newspapers have taken to publicizing daily columns totaling the acreage of land given to peasants thus far, alongside letters of thanks to President Savinkov and the SRS. However, for every success story, it seems another village's problem has only gotten worse. To no one's great surprise, the field consolidation and the migration programs remain to be the most controversial issues. Out of respect for their independence, the villages themselves have given oversight on much of the process, but many disgruntled peasants are simply stopped bothering to listen to them any longer. Worse yet, anger against reforms have begun to coalesce into open strikes. Farmers and landless peasants alike have banded together to decry the government's alleged kulakization of the countryside, stating that the efforts to make farmers economically viable have triumphed promises to give all peasants a fair share of land. The situation is tense, though violence is fortunately not yet broken out. Nevertheless, much of Russia's central Black Earth region has been paralyzed by the strikes, jeopardizing much-needed shipments of grain. Loyal units of the MVD and the Cossacks are trying their best to restore order without restoring the bloodshed. The party cannot afford another Tambov. Okay. We're gonna lose a little bit of stability. We're gonna lose a little bit more party popularity. Like, it seems like we're like way further into the campaign than we actually are. Like, again, we're only halfway through 36. We do have a lot of maneuverability, let's say. Because I'm trying to think. Is it... I think like the end of 36 is when this war will begin. Power production goes up by plus 10. I mean, we need to do the Volskov program in order to continue going down our Black Monday tree. So we need to kind of get our way down there. So let's establish the VES. I think we kind of have to. Everything needs so much political power, man. I have nothing. Hey, there we go. That's almost going to put us at neutral. The Supreme Court. Though it may be true that Savinkov's confrontations with Vladimir Nabokov, the Supreme Court chairman, have been less verbally explosive than those with the late Chernov, they proved no less frustrating for the SZR's growing ambition. The Supreme Court of the Russian Republic is not only the highest court of appeal, but also the arbiter of the Russian constitution, and its 18 judges have proven to be a constant thorn in the side of political radicalism. The Sovietnik's pride has arguably still not recovered from Nabokov's ruling on the question of combat squad's legal status in 1935, but struck down Savinkov's attempt to pardon many of his foot soldiers currently languishing in prison on charges of terrorism. Chernov's passing, however, opened an avenue to finally rid Russia's of Nabokov's obstructionism. Savinkov and his cohort in the Duma have nurtured a vote of no confidence against the Supreme Court for more than a year, but its execution was continually frustrated by the lack of support in the State Council. Now, the State Council, likewise, in SZRS and SOR hands, the non-confidence vote and the paralegal reform bill passed both legislative houses without incident. The slate of Supreme Court, Nabokov included, have been wiped clean in a wave of firings and forced retirements. The few old guard judges, the few old guards judged harmless enough to remain will be rendered powerless in a new Supreme Court that has not only grown to 24 seats, but has also been stacked with a reliable bench of ZSRS-approved appointees, led by Venerable Boris Vishlatsiev, the top legal expert of the SZRS. Now everything is constitutional. Hell yeah, brother, hell yeah. And I will say with that, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not doing it, thumbs down. Do you want to see more? Subscribe, and goodbye.